Welcome. I'm Master Lama Rasaji, and it is the Tuesday edition of Rasaji Speaks. So I hope you're having a great beginning to your week. Don't forget that we have teachers training today at 1 o'clock. Master David's class tonight at 9 o'clock Eastern. Today's subject matter is the sign of the cross, God's will and God's way. Well, let's explore that because different religious sects address this concept. So, in the Catholic Church, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. But it's an ancient symbol in the city yoga masters that dates more than 5,000 years ago, which would make it 3,000 years before the birth of Jesus. And that concept happened after the first 100 years of Christ living. So you have to ask yourself, well, there's a lot of things that it means. Let me give you another idea. Most people think of the 6 and the 9. I guess it would look better like this, the 6 and the 9, to be the yin and yang sign. They think, well, it's been that symbol forever. Did you know before the 6 and 9 that represents balance, which is a good symbol for the Tao, in my opinion, um, was the 8-arm cross. So you had the Celtic cross, the equal cross, and then you had the X. And that stood for the energy, like a lot of our yin exercises, the figure 8 and the swim, we're making the X motion and then putting a circle on the end of it for a figure 8, saying the energy comes in through the X, projects out through the cross. But the city yoga master said, in order to understand the Father's will, right, we must go through the Mother's way, Father's will. Break down the cross, then you can see nothing worth 1,000 words. As I'm talking, it will make sense. You can see, hold on just a second. You can see, the cross and Calvary, right? Now, if you examine the shape of the cross, right, you could make a statement that it's a sword turned upside down into the earth also. Never thought about that. Now, when Moses brought his staff before Ramsey and said, "Let my people go," he did a lot of things with that staff. Remember, he turned that staff into a snake. With that same staff and God's Shakti pot, he made the Nile River red with blood. He parted the sea with that staff. You could make a case for the staff was the beginning of the old covenant, and the horizontal bar here would hang God's firstborn son later. You see? So symbols in themselves represent very similar to a mandala that the Buddhist faith will sit around some days for weeks. I've seen them sit around for weeks to paint one mandala that basically is a portal. So all these symbols create doorways from 3D to 4 and 5D. It's a known fact to Saint Benedict that he did the sign of the cross more than 100 times a day. If you could see the light coming off someone when they do that, you would see an imprint of the cross moving out of the body forward. And that whole cross is light. That's right. The light of the world. You see? Lama G's job is to always cross the T's and dot the I's, no pun intended, but to deliver to you a message that is extremely, extremely important. So just remember, when you're looking to things, sometimes they're not always what they seem to be, right? Not always what they seem to be. Here are prayer wheels with different kanjis and hieroglyphics on them. Every one of them means the symbol, puts out an influence, a pattern throughout all of creation. Those are ancient Tao prayer wheels that are very similar to the prayer wheels in the Lamasery. We'll have those in the new Lamasery also. It's something to behold. Anyhow, just remember God's will or the Father's will through the Mother's way. We know that is the path of righteousness that Melchizedek, that Enoch chose to go. And what is righteousness? The right use of God's law. As we say in the Far East, Baraga Bushai. Now just remember, only a few days to November the 1st, the day after Halloween. You know, in the Far East, they refer to Halloween as All Saints' Eve, because the first in the Catholic Church is All Saints' Day and All Souls' Day. Just remember that the early bird special for the boot camp switches. We also will begin live streaming then. So I hope that you make yourself aware of that. A lot of things happening. The next tour in January with our first convention is huge. We're talking to the doctors about the next seminar and webinar that they did. There was so much positive influence, and the book is just around the corner. You'll be hearing more about the book in the next couple of weeks. As we say, Baraka Bashai, and then may the blessings be. See you tomorrow on Hump Day, and we'll see you soon. God bless you.